Can you tell me more about your sleep patterns?
Yes, I have a very poor relationship with sleep.
Oh,
Very bad relationship.
uh-huh.
So I've always been a very light sleeper. Uh, I've always slept very poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've also I sleep very little in the sense that, 5 hours, maximum 6 hours, and I function well. I could at least function really well. All my life, I've slept like maybe 5 or 6 hours, no more than that. Except now because of my health issues, I need my 7 hours of sleep now.
Oh,
But even then, because I track my sleep, my average for month for a month or for weeks can be 4.5 hours or 5.5 hours. That's what I do. I might make up for it, but
yeah.
I sleep very poorly. And sometimes I get a lot of anxiety dreams also.
So
So
it's
I do
like, yeah, you don't sleep well, not even before the performance, but it's never
no,
good enough.
it's never good. And I
Uh-huh.
don't know why, but I don't know why I don't sleep well. I don't know why. I have periods when I will sleep well. So, but by and large, that's my relationship with sleep. So it may be interspersed with some good phases of sleeping well,
Mm-hmm.
but other.
And how do you feel in your body most of the day? Like any tension, or maybe you feel relaxed or
Mm.
fatigued. So you mentioned a few like physical problems, but can you tell me more about it? Like how it could be related to anxiety?
So I've learned that I hold a lot of anxiety in my neck. So
Mm.
this is where I hold a lot of it. Um, but I know that I also get stomach upset because of anxiety.
Mm.
So I don't have an irritable bowel syndrome like as a diagnosed thing, but
Right.
yeah, but I do know that my stomach gets impacted, my digestive system really gets impacted when I'm anxious because I will have acid reflux a
Mm.
lot more at that time.
Like it's stress related or anxiety related, you suspect. Uh-huh. And what helps
Yeah.
you calm down? Are they because you probably noticed that you had these problems and you tried to cope with them. And what helps you calm down when you're stressed or anxious? Are there any like coping skills you've got?
Yeah. So I know what works really well for me is at a cognitive level when I understand where my anxiety is coming from, when I can locate it,
Mm-hmm.
where what am I worried about, and I need to stop, I need to pause and talk to myself, and that helps. So
Oh,
and that is at a cognitive level. Then when I
yeah.
can have a dialogue with myself, that is when it helps. But sometimes before, but that is if I catch it very early.
Aha. So
If I
it
do,
works when you catch it early, but when you miss this part, uh,
yes, then it gets into, then nothing seems to work. Then it is like I, then I don't know it. It has to run its course maybe,
mhm,
and then it's so tired
mhm.
that it will come down.
So it looks like you do have a strategy to cope with this feeling overwhelming and anxious, and like cognitive like things help you in that. What do you say to yourself that helps you?
So I usually just talk to myself and ask myself, okay, so what's going on? Why are you so worried, Nidhi? So what is the worst that will happen? What are you expecting? And usually I don't have an answer.
But
So
even raising these questions help?
yes, Yes. So even so when I ask, okay, so what's bothering you, Nidhi, or what's going on with you? Is there something like why are you, what is this about? So when I don't find an answer, sometimes that quietens my mind. That yeah, there is nothing, matlab, what do I have to worry about?
Mhm.
So sometimes that helps. Sometimes, like I said, it does not help if I miss that chance.
But it looks like you do have coping mechanism that can be developed more if you pay more attention. Does it sound right? Yeah. Uh, I'm wondering, can you remember the time when the anxiety and this all this like tense feeling started? When was this?
I remember it for as long as I've lived.
Oh,
Yeah, there are periods in my life where or no, not periods in my life, but there are days when I can feel the lightness.
mm-hmm,
So there is lightness in my body. But otherwise, it's there. It's like, I think the way I think about it, and I don't know, maybe we can talk, you can help me think and go back to it, but it feels like it was always there. I've always remembered that, it is the default for me.
oh, so
So
you
I
always remember, you don't even remember the instance when it started. You just, as long as you, am I right? As long as you remember, you say, oh, that was must be hard for a little girl. So, can you tell me more about your childhood? So, about your relationship with your parents? Did you from consider like looking retrospect, what do you think? Did you have good relationship with your parents?
Yes, I was a very loved child. So my parents, both of them loved me very much, or love me very much.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, an older child. But I think maybe that's where, because I was so loved, I think it kind of also made me feel like I should be worthy of their love, though it does not make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, but that, that they love me a lot and I should also be doing right, like
Des
doing the right thing,
des
deserving.
yeah, be deserve of
Mm.
uh
Like it makes sense to me, and I don't remember moments like that,
mhm.
but it feels, and deserving feels a little bit strong. It was not so much about strong, but that it was my way of giving back the love that I was receiving was to do the right things, like
Do the right things.
uh,
Yeah.
so
Be
to
a
do
good girl, to be a
a
good.
good, yes.
Were you as far as I remember, there are two of you in the family. And what about your brother? Uh, did your parents treat your brother the same way or a little bit different? Yeah.
Uh, so in India, again, the culturally, boys are kind of, there are, they're preferred, so to say. It was not quite that in my family. So I was very loved, and, we were treated the same way for most part. But then as I became older, I realized the kind of subtle privileges
Mm-hmm.
boys have. So,
Right.
it was so ingrained that I don't think my parents also consciously kind of exercised.
Yeah.
But yeah, but there were some of these subtle differences. But in terms of love,
Mm-hmm.
uh, things, I never felt like I got any less. If anything, I felt I got more
Yes.
love from my brother.
Yes. Yes. But but the requirements were a little bit different. The same amount of love, you always felt loved, but you were treated kind of differently because maybe different expectations from both of you, from each of you, or expectations were the same.
Yeah, so I think expectations were the same in the sense that both were expected to do well in school and studies. Um, you
Mhm.
know, as a girl, I was expected to be involved in household chores as well, which I never was. I
Uh-huh.
never enjoyed doing them, but it was not like I was told off for that. So I grew up playing outside with friends and
Right.
uh, you know, being raised literally by neighbors because I was constantly in their homes. So in that respect, it was pretty fair. But but as a student, I was better than my brother. And in India, there was a lot of pressure on academics, right? So there was this expectation of doing well because you're a good student, you'll do well. And I think I was average, but I mean, I was a regular student, not like a super high achiever or anything.
Right.
And I've never been competitive or I've never been like ambitious or anything like that. So
Uh-huh.
but I have always been sincere, like a sincere student.
Yeah.
So I think it was just extension of my good girl role.
And in terms of, I know that in Indian culture is like people live in big extended families, and even now your family is quite big. You have one kitchen, common kitchen, and you have meals together. I suspect there were other significant people in your childhood, and who were they?
Ah, so I think I always thought that I had, like my two sets of parents. So my parents were my parents, and my parents' younger brother and his wife were also my parents.
Uh-huh.
And and my grandmother was also felt like a parent.
Right.
So it felt like everybody, all the elders in my family felt like parents who genuinely were interested in my well-being
Right.
and interested in my being.
Did you share them, or you maybe you didn't realize that you were anxious, or you knew that there was some kind of anxiety and that you felt uncomfortable even when you were a child? Did you share that with your parents, or no, you didn't?
I don't think I recognized it back then.
Yeah.
I began to recognize it much later in life.
So, but now when you recognize it, what does your support system look like? What does it look like? Do you have friends or relatives who can provide some support, or you don't share this with anybody, your worries?
Yeah, I don't share this. My mom gets to know because I'm planning and doing all of this, and she will tell me not to worry. But I don't share it as a worry. They just see me in action mode, and so they know that I'm worried about
So you
getting.
don't share that because you don't want to worry them, or maybe because it's not approved by the culture. It's perceived as a weakness. Walk it off.
Yeah. No, I think it's more because I don't want them to get worried.
Uh-huh.
So, and it is partially, it's not so much about the culture as I feel like, as an adult, as a mature adult, I should be able to handle some of these things on my own. And I also sometimes feel that they're so insignificant. I mean, that I worry about things that really they don't need to be worried upon. So what do I tell people? What should I say? It just seems or sounds so silly. In my head, it sounds so silly. Why am I worrying about this?
Mm-hmm.
So it will sound silly to somebody else also.
And after you told me about your success, and you think it's a small success, but I disagree with you. I think it's a big success after you presented, after you made a mock presentation with your team, and it went very well, and you had control over the anxiety. What do you think can be a step you can make, even if it's a small step, to reduce your anxiety, something doable that would, like a coping mechanism that make you feel better? What it might be? You just mentioned that you can catch it when you at the very
Mm.
beginning, or you mentioned that you cognitive mechanism, if you turn on all these cognitive thoughts, like, can you think of the, like, something that you would consider to be success,
Mm.
even if it's small, a small step that could make you feel better?
I think if I could connect better with my body.
Mm,
Oh, so if I learn to incorporate deep breathing on an everyday basis, like
mm-hmm.
I, if I connect, so if I just maybe say, I could maybe set an alarm to that can remind me to take 5 minutes to just breathe deeply and become more connected with my body. I think that will help me recognize.
Okay, so it's very like, you think it would be helpful, and it's proved by by it's an evidence proof intervention. So, and would you like to do it like every day? Do once a day? You think it would be enough, right? In
No, I
addition to your cognitive um, coping skills.
Yes, no, so I was thinking maybe if I could do during the day, maybe 2 times,
Two
I
times.
could set, yeah, 2 times if I could set an alarm and say, just focus on just, maybe even if I'm at work, I could just, excuse myself to the ladies' room and just calm myself down or just breathe deeply, take a minute or two,
Mm-hmm.
connect with my body, and then come back.
Yeah.
Start to do that, then
Let's
I will.
develop this habit, right? Yeah. So that's probably it's a good goal. Like, it's very achievable. Do you think it's doable? And
Mhm.
if it is possible, maybe it would be a good idea to make some notes about your being aware of your body, and also there is a special app you can use. It's on the phone. If you when you record your state of mind,
Mhm.
it's not like you have to write long notes. Just
Mm.
recording, it's ask you how do you feel, and there is a scale: neutral, worried, not
Yes.
like pleasant, and then what it is about, and it will show to you where you are in terms of your anxiety, and it will make it more tangible, your success.